Hey everyone, I'm Marcel and I'm an Applications Consultant at QI, and today we're going to be looking at analysis views and how you can use it in Business Central with all its features. First of all, analysis views can be used on almost any page in Business Central, and it's pretty similar to pivot tables in Excel, but some would say it's a bit more user-friendly. At the time of this video coming out, analysis views have been in Business Central for over a year now, and they're still adding features even up to as recent as a few weeks ago. You can start to use these by going onto any page like the customers list, for example, and clicking the button next to the search bar, which looks like a square with boxes inside. Once you press this button, it will by default show the customers list in its default view, but the next thing you can do is turn on the pivot mode switch. In this example, to make things simple, I'm going to remove all values, which will show an empty table. If I decide that I want to see a table showing all customers and their balances, I can then drag the number field onto the row groups, and I will drag balance into the value section. This is a basic example of how you can use analysis views. Just remember that these can always be adapted and changed depending on what you'd like to see. As an example, if you decide that you only want to see total balances based on the location of the customer, this can be done by dragging the location field into the row group section, but above the number field. As an example, if you decide that you only want to see total balances based on the location code entered on the customer card, this can be done by dragging the location code into the row group section, but above the number field. As you will see, on the left-hand side, the system has automatically grouped up all of the customers by the location code field and is showing the combined balance of all customers with this location code. On pivot tables, there are a lot of options which you'll get to learn over time, but a few of these do come under the same icon. If you look on any of the columns on this page, there will be 3 lines that show when you hover over the name. When you click on this, you'll have the option to freeze columns, add columns from other tables, which we'll get into later, as well as expanding or closing all of the row groups and sizing options for the columns too. Once you are happy with the analysis view that you've made, I would recommend renaming the view that you've made by clicking the drop-down arrow next to the title. And after this, if you would like to export the table that you made into Excel, then there are 2 ways to do this. You can either go back to this drop-down arrow and then press Open in Excel, or you can right-click any of the cells within the view and then press Export and Open in Excel. Our next and last example is going to be on the sales lines page. We're going to be looking at viewing sales document information, as well as adding columns from other tables, and then also reducing the info that's being shown on the screen. First, let's search for the sales lines page and click on the relevant link. Once we're on that page, we can switch to the analysis view and turn on pivot mode. For this example, I'll only keep 2 of the value fields, which are quantity and line amount, and I'm also going to add document type and document number as the first 2 row groups. Now, for example, if I wanted to see the contact that was linked to these documents and the email that was linked to these documents, because they don't actually exist on this table, I would need to get them from another table. The first thing we will do is click the drop-down next to the title and press Add Columns From, then select Other Source. We will then pick this customer option because we want this table to show the contact that is linked to the customer we are selling to. We would then select Contact and press OK. Repeat the initial steps, but instead of adding the contact field, we will instead add the email field. Once this is done, you can then scroll down on the available fields and drag them onto the row groups too. Now when you drop these groups down, you'll see the related contact and email for the customer entered on the sales document. You also have other options like adding filters on the view, so if I only wanted to see sales orders and no other documents on this view, then I can go to the right-hand side and click Analysis Filters, drop down Document Type, unselect all documents, and then only select Order. That would be just one example, but you can filter for all of the available fields on the right-hand side, and sometimes if there is a field that you would expect to see on this page, but is not appearing, then you may need to personalize on the normal list view first. This feature is constantly being improved and upgraded as time goes on, and hopefully this video helps you understand analysis views in Business Central. Have a good day.